Hello and welcome to Live Well with Barrie. My name's Barrie Thomas, and those of you who've been following this series know that it's about inspirational people and guests telling their great stories, sharing them with us. This week, I feel like I've got royalty yet again in the studio. I feel it's like bigger than Diana Ross. Elayne Smith, otherwise known as DJ Elayne.
Hi.
See what I mean? Now, you have been a household name for me before I even knew about the entity that is DJ Elayne.
Oh,
from
sweet. Yeah.
Early 80s.
Wow, okay.
I've always been hearing about DJ Elayne. So tell me, from the beginning, where did it start? Because you're a real media name in all aspects, TV, music. You're there.
I'm there, yes, it would seem. Even when I'm not, I seem to be there, which is nice. From the beginning, where did it start? Well, it started when I got expelled from school.
I always knew she was a naughty girl. To be honest with you, can I tell you, I had to change these glasses for water because she had me drinking red wine and I don't even drink. I just needed to share that. Okay, back to the interview.
Oh my God, you're painting a terrible picture of me. Terrible picture of me. It doesn't go like that, by the way, but anyway, we will go with that story. We'll go with that story. Well, I got expelled from school, and to be honest with you, it really wasn't my fault. I was used as a diversion for the headmistress.
It never is.
No, but honestly, it was. And just to tell the story briefly, so that if there are any Priory Park girls out there, they will vouch for me, all right? So it's, you know, when you get into, I think it was the third year of school, and you get split up into two classes.
Right.
And you choose what you want to do. Skating or judo or whatever. We chose judo, martial arts or something like that.
Violence. See, violence. Go on.
A girl has to know how to protect oneself, especially when you have so many adorable fans.
Okay.
And so anyway, we knew this from a young age. So I took judo, whatever it was, we went off to do, and another class took ice skating. Now, there was one girl that came down from Norwood Girls' School. All right, I've seen her since, so we shall protect her name. And she's a changed.
I don't want a loss. Okay.
She's a reformed character, and she's lovely, and all of these things, right? And anyway, she came down from Norwood Girls' School. She was expelled from Norwood Girls' School, and they put her with us in Priory Park School, and she went off with the skating group, but she had kind of, what would you say, clinged to our little group.
Right.
To our little group. And so the half of our group that went off to skating, naturally she hung with them. Now, she got into a conflict with another girl from another school and beat her up quite badly with her skating boots. And it's horrific. And my blood goes cold every time I think about that story. And so what used to happen is our group as a whole, we used to meet at Stockwell Station after wherever it is we'd been. We'd just all meet, and then we'd walk to Brixton, and then we'd watch each other get on buses, and we'd go home. Anyway, that group who naturally got banned from the skating ring because of the incident was at Stockwell Station early. So when we got there, it was a case of, Guess what? We're not allowed back at skating because blah, blah, blah did da and rah. Now, so the whole school, it felt like, had congregated outside Stockwell Station. We finished school at 10 to 4. I had a baseball cap. I'm in full uniform, but a baseball cap. And I had this baseball cap on. And because the whole school was there, And this girl was hiding in his mistress's office, and everybody was waiting for her to come out. The headmistress then decided to walk her to the station, and as a diversion, she went, "Smith, you're out of uniform." And I'm looking at there's a big old tower of a clock there that said 4 o'clock. We finish at 10 to 4. And I said, "It's 4 o'clock, I can wear what I like." Yeah, "Don't answer me back. You've got detention." "No, I ain't." "You're expelled." I've never ever even been suspended in my life. But this woman's,
until that moment.
You can't really can't really expel somebody without 3 suspensions.
Well, darling, as always, and it's been true to form through your life, when you do it in style. You don't start at the bottom and work your way up. You just go straight to the top, right? I mean,
well, yeah, I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment, indeed.
I was furious.
Why was it to do 3 expansions when I can just do expulsion?
Go straight to the top, expulsion straight away. But to cut a long story short, to say the least, we got to Brixton in less than 5 minutes, because while she had turned all the attention on me, this girl had scarpered and someone went, "Da-da-da's getting away," and da-da-da. Do you know what I mean? So we took the law into our own hands, went up to Brixton, and of course I was, so...
The ringleader.
Well, I weren't the ringleader, but
right,
I was the one that was expelled, and it wasn't even my fight. Do you know what I mean? So anyway,
how did that serve you? Because it's obviously given you a bit of independence.
Well, it has. And this is how it served me, because when I was expelled, I was out of school for about 6 months. And then, of course, they sent me to Norwood Girls' School.
Okay.
Where that girl had come from, where everybody was scared of her. So now me going to Norwood Girls' School, it's like I'm being picked on. And when I was at school, I was that side. And because of what had transpired when we got to Brixton, right, word got around by the time I got there. Do you know what I mean? Right. So then there was a big kerfuffle because everybody wanted to test me. Do you know what I mean? But before we got to Norwood Girls' School, just to let you know, my mum wasn't having a bar of it. It was wrong. And I was then invited back to the school by the head, she and her 10 dogs. And we sat there, and she invited me back to the school. And when I got the invitation to come back, I got up in true Jamaican style and said, "If I come back to this school with 10 dogs in the office," I got up and walked out. And then they sent me to Norwood Girls' School. When I got to Norwood Girls' School, the reputation that I had acquired through that little incident preceded me. So I then got into another altercation and decided that before you expel me, I'm leaving. And I told my mum I weren't going back, so I didn't go back. I was 15 at the time, and she just
went with the flow.
She just went with it because I told her what was happening. And because we'd gone through so much at that time, it just wasn't fair. So the months going ahead, I just remembered just spending all my money on Vogue magazine.
So you had quite a tempestuous start.
Yeah. But for me is I believe in sticking up for my right. Right now, I'm going through a court case. I've been through 2 court cases, one with Porsche, right?
Okay.
And one I'm going through now for my mother, right? Because I don't believe in wrong. And the things I can tell you about the law, you can now employ me. My closest friends call me a lawyer because of the things that I can quote and the things that, the things that I know. And I've studied this myself, because when I get, with me, I'm like relentless. When I get into something or someone, I am there. You're my friend, I'm your friend for life. I'm Scorpio, I am loyal, and I will fight to the bitter end. And I can't stand injustice. Do you know what I mean? So that's me. But
so Vogue magazines, you were doing the Vogue magazines.
And at the time, Dad lived in Harlesden. Me and Mum and little brother and older brother lived in Tulse Hill. And used to go and see Dad often, and I was his baby girl because when Mum was pregnant, he said, I want a girl and she's going to be called Elayne. So you can imagine I was a girl and he called me Elayne straight away. So I could do no wrong. So he would just give me money and look after me, and
as dad should.
As dad, I was his princess, right? So I'd buy Vogue magazine and I would cut out outfits. I'd like, oh, I like that skirt and I like this and I like that, and I'd pin them up on my wall and I'd be like, yeah, when I get some money, I'm gonna this and I'm gonna buy that, and yeah, so, do you know what I mean? And then one day in the back of Vogue magazine, I saw an advert for the London Academy of Modelling.
Now this is the bit we're getting to. This is the start, right?
I'm 5'4" or 5'5" of me, still 15. Do you know what I mean? And it was £1,500 to
that was back then. Imagine how much
£1,500. This girl who's supposed to be in college or school or so I didn't even take any exams. I just left. And I cut it out and went to Mum and I said, Mum, can I go on this course? And her initial thought was, how much?
Well, I mean, what years were we talking about then? 1980 what?
No, I was in school in 1975. That eludes me, that'll come back. But I was 15 at the time.
Right,
so we have to...
£1,500 at that time was quite a lot, because I mean, £1,500 now is
it was a hell of a lot of money. You know, £1,500. Even now, if my son was to come to me now and say, "Oh, Mum, can I have £1,500?" I'd be like, "Give me a few weeks."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so I pleaded with her and I thought, "Oh, Mum, please, 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 please." And she said, "Go and ask your dad." So, see what he thinks. So went and showed it to my dad and everything, and they must have put heads together and thought, well, you know, I'm a good girl really, because I've always been a really good girl. I have, you know. I have. Contrary to popular belief, I've been a good girl. I'm a very kind-hearted person. The only thing is,
sure, definitely.
The thing is that I just can't stand injustice. I can't stand injustice. I can't stand gossips.
Yeah.
You know, that's why some people may think I'm standoffish. Do you know what I mean? You made a comment the other day when we was out to lunch. You said sometimes people may say, "What's Elayne doing over there and not over here with us?" It's not because I don't want to be with the crowd. It's just that, you know, I'm either doing my thing, engrossed in something, or, you know, I just don't want to be amongst the coloss. Yeah. Because the amount of phone calls I get.
Hear that word? That's old school.
Don't want to be amongst it. You know, the amount of calls I get where this one is talking about that one and that one. I cut the conversation. I don't want to know. I'm not in it.
That's right.
Because who you're talking about is good to me.
Yeah.
They're good to me. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's it.
So the School of Modelling.
So I went to this. So anyway, cut a long story short, they both agreed that I'm a good girl, really, and they put half the money in together. And I did 6 weeks at the London Academy of Modelling on Bond Street, West London.
Okay.
So if you can imagine 15 going up to Bond Street on my own every day for 6 weeks, you better know you couldn't touch me. What? Do you know what I mean? And there, I have to say that that grooming that I got has never left me. You know, I never forget. I mean, although I must say, I'm 55 years old right now, so I can say it myself. You know, there's a lot that was just natural in me. It was grooming it. For example, you know how we used to dress with our box pleat skirt and all of that, right? So one day, they used to give us like tasks and stuff like that homework and stuff that you'd have to do and that. And they must have said about when you come in tomorrow, dress a certain way as if you're going to a certain dada, whatever it was, right? And I'll never forget it. I was wearing a box pleat burgundy skirt, a pair of Elaine Barrie court shoes, not too dissimilar to this, but not as kind of
high.
not as high and not as sexy, a bit lower, and it had a gold tip around the front there. It was a bit more curved, a gold tip around the front there. I didn't have a tip at the back because I was always never into too much, right? So it was just a gold tip at the front. I had on burgundy skirt, and I had like, it was, you know, like a Ben Sherman check shirt.
Yeah.
A Ben Sherman burgundy and white check shirt, and a burgundy jacket over the top, but it was velvet, right? And I had my hair, you know how we said tongue it up, like that, right? And when I walked into the classroom, watched the teacher, and that is what you call class and style. Crossed my heart, I hope to die. That was it. It was all over for me. Do you know what I mean? But that was me taking our natural style.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do anything else.
At that time, we did have a way of dressing.
We was very
natural deportment.
Yeah.
You know, so by the time you go to a professional place to tweak it, and
that's what you need. Yeah,
absolutely.
So they showed us deportment. They showed us how to project in the camera. They showed us how to put on makeup, which I never grasped. And I never forget as well, because remember, I'm amongst these rich white kids. And, you know, they had to go off and buy this makeup. They'd give you a list as to where to go and buy these things from as well. So obviously they are taking care of their people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I remember going off and buying my little Bieber makeup as well. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember Bieber? And so I couldn't go and ask my mum and dad for any more money.
Yeah.
So what I then did, still 15, I decided that I was going to get a job.
Right.
And because I was doing this during the day, it had to be an evening job. So I decided to become a chambermaid at, I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it was in Green Park. I sat down, first of all, and I phoned all the hotels until I got an interview with this hotel in Green Park. And I became a chambermaid.
But that shows initiative. I mean, at 15 to say, well, okay, they've given me this money to do that course. I can't ask them for any more, but there's still things that I need in order to fulfill the course. So I've got to make it somehow.
Got to make it somehow. And so that's what I did. They gave me this job. And I got the money that I needed. And then I thought, gosh, how am I going to tell them that I'm not coming back? Right?
Oh, to the job.
To the job.
Right. You just did what you needed to do to get what you needed to get, and I'm out of here.
That's it.
Right.
And I phoned them up, right, and I asked for my line manager, and then watch me. But I told them that my name was Sandra as well, right? And that I was 18.
She said she's a good girl. I just needed to understand this.
No, listen, needs must. You've got to do what it takes to get on.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And I phoned up, and then watch me. Say her name was Mrs. Bakewell or something. I was like, hello? Is that Mrs. I said, is that Mrs. Bakewell? She went, yes, who's calling? I said, it's Mrs. Smith. I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, Sandra, daughter, Sandra, father. Yes, how can I help you? I'm just calling to tell you that Sandra no longer can come back to work. Then watch her now. Thank you for letting me know, Sandra.
You were fooling yourself. She already knew.
Thank you for letting me know, Sandra. That was amazing. But, you know, she probably knew that I wasn't 18 either.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Trust me, you weren't the only Sandra. I'm sure in that job there were several Sandras. Do you know what I mean? So,
do you know, when I think about it, I'm thinking, how did my mum allow me to do that? But you see, I think that my mum, there were certain things I could be honest about, to say, well, you know, I needed this money to do this, and this is what it's requiring, and Mum, I've got this job, can I do it? It's from this time to that. Because it was 3 hours an evening, do you know what I mean? And the rest of it. And, you know, I was pretty much left to do what I wanted
Actually,
to
it helps you gain a lot of independence and individuality. You know, it's you know.
Mum and Dad trusted me
Yeah.
because they knew that I knew right from wrong.
That's right.
Yeah, they knew, and it's followed me all the way through. I've never really been in any kind of trouble until you upset me. Not really.
Cut. Okay.
But fast forwarding, it was the year of the Jubilee, and
What year was that? 77.
was it 77?
Was it 20? Yeah, 1977, wasn't it? 25.
We'll have to do the
Silver
thing, and then that
Jubilee.
will have,
Yeah.
that will be able to. And this is what I think really confidence I had, but confidence to say that I can do whatever I put my mind to,
do it, yeah.
you know, because it was a class of, I don't know, maybe 25, and they needed 12 girls to represent this massive fashion show that they were doing,
Right.
for in front of the members of the royal family. I don't know if the Queen was there, but it was in aid of that, right? And I was one of the ones that was chosen, and I was the only black girl in the class. That was probably why I was chosen. But I was also the shortest as well, and I led the procession on everything. And I've still got photographs of it, and I'll never forget. Whenever I look, the reason why you've not seen these photographs on Facebook is because the clothes that they put us in was bloody ugly. Jeez, I remember this white gown they put us in, and it was ugly. Ooh. But yeah, anyway.
But it gave you the basis and foundation for something later.
Really
Now,
did.
when did the DJing start? This is what I want to get to, because
DJing.
I remember you going away to Germany, was it?
Scandinavia.
All right. That's it.
With Voltalight. I always give credit to Michael Williams whenever I tell this story, because I have to. He was my boyfriend, my main at the time. And we used to frequent Ronnie Scott's maze upstairs,
Right.
where Trevor Shakes used to play.
That's right.
And we used to go there on a Thursday night, and Gary McDonald's brother Keith used to run the bar, and it was me, Wendy, Yvonne, R.I.P., me, Wendy, Yvonne, and Christine, right? Michael and his boys, Gary McDonald and the rest of them. We used to go down there on a Thursday night. It was a ritual. When the evening was over, I don't think Keith had dishwashers at the time.
Right.
Like a dishwashing machine.
Okay.
And so he used to pay us money to wash the glasses.
Right.
But have you seen these nails? They've always been like this. This ain't a today thing. They've always been like this. Do you know what I mean? Well kept and what have you.
That's right.
Dishwashing wasn't what I was going to be doing. So the rest of them used to do the dishwashing, and I used to go into, if you remember Maze, they used to have, like, where the DJ was, there was a cubby hole in there.
That's right.
And they would have, they've got like a stack of records in there as well that was always there. So I used to just go in there and just play the music, because ever since I can remember, I always used to buy music, always. From the time, just to digress a little bit, from the time my mum used to go Brixton Market, and after she used to do her shopping, myself and my brothers, she used to take us to the record shop in the middle of the arcade, and we used to have to stand outside with the shopping, and she would go in there and buy 4 Studio One tunes or 4 7-inch tunes, and then come home and she'd play her tunes. And on top of that, she used to scratch out the label and title and everything like that. And when you ask her why, it's because the woman that used to live downstairs, every time she play her music, the woman come to see what she's playing and copy what she does. So she used to scratch it out, right? That's a little digression, right? So she used to scratch out. She used to scratch it out, right?
Can you see why this woman is special? I mean, it's from foundation, really. I mean,
it's not yesterday that I've been into music. So mum used to have her random parties all the time, because after that now, growing up, when I used to go and visit my dad, Venture Records, which was on the Harrow Road, home to Traditions, I don't know if you remember, what was the record, what's the label called? I think it was called Ventures, I can't remember. But the group Traditions, Moving On and all of that, right? I used to go in there all the time and buy music. So you'd come to my bedroom and it used to be lined up along. So music was always ingrained. My introduction to Shaka Khan was going into a record shop and liking the cover. Right. And that was the one where she's running down the road with Rufus.
Okay, yeah.
Looking spectacular.
Do You Love What You Feel and Any Love?
Don't ask me what's on it. I can't remember, but it's pink and she's running down the road, and I looked at it and I thought, God, she looks great. So I bought that album, and then that was I can't check. You asked me, innit? Yeah. So that was my introduction to Shaka Khan. Ever since, she's been my favourite female soul singer, right? Right. But to go back to my DJing and that, May's upstairs. So whilst they were washing the glasses and that, music. I was playing music and messing about and all of that. So one night I got home and Michael goes to me, you could actually do this, you know. You could actually do it. You've got a flair. So I goes, nah. He goes, no, you can do it. So we then went to Keith and asked him for the club on a Wednesday night, right? And he gave it to us. Michael's friend Robert at the time had all the soul music and I had all the reggae music. And we did our flying and blah, 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 blah. First thing, please Puck, right? Then it was like...
Well, I guess it's because you guys were doing something different and unusual for the West End at that time.
Yes.
So, you know, they're going, well, yeah, there's this club where they're playing this and they're playing that. You know, it's unusual.
It really wasn't unusual. Yeah. Plus, the female DJs were. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I got in there and I'll never forget. I don't remember the first records I put on because they'd played the soul and now it's time for me to play some reggae. Let me tell you something. This is me. This is me. Nervous. This was me with the needle. And I was trying to cue it up. In the end, I just dropped it, and where it landed. That was my first record on. I was trying to steady my hand. And when I looked up, because if you remember, we was in the cubby hole, people were dancing. I was like, oh my God, they're dancing to the record that I put on. By the time the night was out, the owner for Levian Rose in Earl's Court approached me and Robert and asked if we'd play down there. Right. And then we played there. And then by the time that night was ended, somebody else asked me. So I was getting my jobs per job. Right. Do you know what I mean? And then Robert decided that it was all too much for him and that he had to bow out. And I was like, oh no, can I borrow your records? Do you know what I mean? So, and for me to get like a full set of records, I remember it was £47 and that was my electricity money. And I spent that on my records. And then I borrowed his records for a time and then I picked out what I wanted, bought my own and gave him back his records. And I haven't looked back since. Do you know what I mean? Really and truly you haven't looked back since.
So then there was the first trip abroad.
The first trip abroad came when... oh my word, I've forgotten what his name is now. I want to give him credit. I forgot what his name is. He also saw me at a gig and he used to do trips abroad and he introduced me to Phil Dennis. Right. Phil Dennis, you know, we're still great friends now. And he likes to tell the story of when I called him and we made the meeting and we met in a pub in Dulwich. Okay. And he says he'll never forget it. If I see him now, he'll tell me the same story. I walked into the pub and I was wearing this massive hat, this fur coat and these boots, right? And he said that when I walked in, the pub just stopped. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, it didn't matter whether or not I could play or not. You know what I mean? He knew that I was just
the whole package, the image and everything went together very well to go.
And then, of course, when he did hear me play and, you know, he just got bookings. I opened clubs for him in Malta, Greece and what have you. I had return bookings. There'd be times when I was doing the 291 club and a car would be waiting for me outside, and they'd pick me up and fly me to Malta or fly me somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And that was a life, man. It was great. I mean, once I decided that this is what I wanted to do, Now
then that kind of progressed into you being into TV, because I remember seeing you on Top of the Pops.
Well, before that, it was LWR.
Well, oh, that's true.
Yeah, before that, it was LWR, because I'd done a stint abroad. And what was good for me there was actually reading the crowd. Actually reading the crowd, because I'm now playing to an audience that doesn't speak my language.
Okay.
And
you've really got to tell how they're feeling about what you're playing by what they're doing.
Yeah. But I was, as for always, like I say, I don't just jump in. Soon as I hit a different country, the first thing I do is find out where the video shop was, right? So that I can get a video for when my downtime, I can be watching videos, find out where the gym was, find out where the record shop was, right? That's what I did. And then once I get to the record shop, I look to see what their top 10 is, and then I would get the top 10. And then, but I always walked with my own personal records.
Collection, yeah.
And what you do then is to, it's like you're playing cards, isn't it? Mm. So you don't just run off their top 10. You intertwine them with
what you have,
and you build that up. Going back to Michael Williams, I remember when we got to one particular place, Malta, right? I was a big kid in Malta, and I was playing bits of acid, and I phoned Michael up and I goes, Michael, listen, acid would do really well out here, you know. Let's do a club night. So I booked a club night out there. Michael turned up. Let me tell you, Michael turned up with must be a weekend kiss with him clothes and a massive suitcase of acid t-shirts, paraphernalia, all sorts of things. Do you know what I mean? And we ram that
much better now
club.
We can see her eyes, isn't that right?
We ram that, but I always do this. I always start with my glasses on. I'm making a statement. And he turns up with all of these things, and we ram the club out.
Right.
Sell after t-shirt them. And that's what I did love about him, because he was a business partner as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a good, you know, business
partnership.
Partnership. It really was. So anyway, moving forward past that, by the time I got back and decided to settle into the UK, I had all that confidence of playing to an audience that I don't even know. Plus I had the insight of being a party goer growing up, so I knew what it was like to be in audience.
And what you want, what the audience wants.
That's right.
Yeah.
And let me also give credit to Trevor Shakes, because I modelled myself on Trevor Shakes.
Yeah.
Used to love Trevor Shakes. He used to put a record. Listen, he was the one that we all first heard. Ain't Nobody Shaka Khan. He played it 4 times.
Back to back.
Yeah. Where was Trevor Shakes? On the dance floor. He put it on. The whole place went mad. He would play it to the very last drop, and all you could see is Trevor's head bobbing through the crowds, going back, and he put it on again, back on 4 times he played that night.
Yeah.
Right, so as far as I'm concerned, he broke that tune in the UK. Do you know what I mean? But I just loved, he enjoyed the music.
Oh yeah, Trevor was always on the dance floor.
Yeah, that's why when I play because I love what I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, to get back to LWR. So by the time I got to LWR, I was at the Uppercut, and Daddy Ernie had seen me, and he met me, cornered me in the changing room backstage, and he goes, "Are you after my job?" Right? Because he's never seen a woman select tune, put it on, and
have the crowd in her hand
and talking on the mic at the same time. And I'm like, no. Do you know what I mean? And he goes, "Listen, have you ever thought about doing radio?" No. He goes, "Look, I'm on a station called LWR. I think you should do a demo tape and get it to Zach." So he says, "I'm up in Harlesden, I know it well, Hawkeye Records, do your demo tape, bring it to me and I will give it to Zach. So say it was Friday that he told me, by Saturday I'd given it to him. By Sunday I was getting a phone call to meet Zach on that club that R.I.P. Derek Bolan used to play on, God, I can't remember what it's called now, Bentley's,
okay.
Right? Got myself down there on the Sunday night. By Monday I was doing the breakfast show.
Really?
Because I've got it like
there
that.
There were quite a stable of people there at LWR.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Tim Westwood came from there,
yeah.
Derek Bolan, Daddy Ernie, Ron Tom, Camilla, even Angela Marr passed through there.
Yeah.
God, that was the academy.
So it seems.
It was the academy. And I think Zach went for personalities.
Yeah.
He was a talent scout. He went for personalities and he could see personalities. And giving me the breakfast show did upset quite a few people because they did have their eye on it. But I remember when I was making my demo tape, I had a 4-track studio.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, little 4-track studio. And for me, it was a case of how do I want my show to sound?
Right.
And I must admit, I liked the way David Rodigan presented. And the reason why I liked the way David Rodigan presented was because he would talk about the tune he was about to play. And more often than not, if I was leaving the room, I would stop to hear the tune because he would big it up so much that I had to hear this tune now. I had to hear it. And sometimes it would be like, oh, cha, that's soft. Or sometimes it would be like, good. But the thing was, he spoke with so much excitement and passion and urgency. Enthusiasm. I mean, I loved Tony Williams and Greg and all of them. But I suppose that when you're aspiring to the BBC, so to speak, you try to be like the BBC, don't you? You try to be like that, don't you? So that's what I was doing. So when I made my tape, I sat down and I presented in that way. Yeah. And I gave him, I think it was about 25 minutes. And at the end, I said something corny like, if you like it, then give me a call. My number is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he tells me later that he was sold. And, well, it showed because by Monday, he was like, do you think you can do the breakfast show tomorrow? Well, I wasn't going to say no.
Exactly.
I was on there.
Just jump in and do it. Yeah, yeah.
But it was one of the most exciting times in my life because when I think about it, we weren't being paid to do radio, right? To do pirate radio. But the amount of gigs that spun off of that, I was a rich woman. Yeah. I was such a rich woman. But what I didn't, for the life of me, I don't understand how I did Monday through to Friday, 7 till 10. Plus, he gave me other chores, like I was responsible for the mail. So I'd drive up to that Cavendish Street up in the West End, pick up the mail, bring it all down and stuff like that. And then 3 times a week, possibly 4 times a week, I was gigging.
Right.
Because we were getting the bookings.
The gigs off of the radio station.
Off the radio. But it just goes to show you that when you love something, the energy is just there for you.
Through it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just there for it. So you can't tell me, and I'll take the opportunity now, if I may, to say this. All of you budding young people who want to be in radio and come to me and say you want to be in radio, and I give you a little bit of research to do, or, you know, a task or a destination, and you are faltering after 2 or 3, sometimes one day, you're not ready. You're not even ready for anything. You're not even ready for yourself. You're not ready.
Yeah.
You're not ready because when you love
people
something,
see something. You see, when you're behind the scenes, you actually realize what it entails to be on radio, to be on TV, everything that goes with it. It's not just you land here and you're in front of a camera, or you land there and you're in the radio station. Lots of things have to go that are the layers, that are the preparation, that are the foundation to take you to that place. I mean, all that you've done to where you are now, look at how much has gone.
But you see, it's true, darling. Thank you for saying that, and thank you for recognizing that, and thank you for having me here as well. I mean, you know, I think though that if it wasn't music, I think I'd still be the same. I think I'd still succeed wherever I went. And the reason being is that, you know, just digressing a little bit. I remember a time when, again, I needed money to do something. And I decided that I needed to get a job. And I got myself a couple of interviews. None of them were good. Then I went down to Bon Marsh in Brixton. Do you remember where all the little units were? Went into all of the office, knocked on the door, you know, do you need any help, blah, blah, blah. Then I got to one office and this guy was saying like, he didn't need any help. And I looked across, saw a computer. Them times I just got a computer. And I thought, do you know what I mean? And I said, and it was covered up. And I said, who uses that? And he says, no one at the moment. I says, why do you have it? He says, to input data. I goes, I can do that. And he went like this. And he goes, okay, you've got the job. My point is simply this. When you love something, you invest in it, not just financially, but with time.
Absolutely.
And that goes with relationships as well. If you love something, you invest in it, you
Absolutely.
know. And
it's not a chore to invest in it.
No,
you know, it's your interest is what drives you to do more. You want to do and get involved and be involved.
Absolutely. And at the moment, you know, I'm at the Beat London 103.6 FM.
Okay.
Gonna say congratulations! Oh my God, I can't wait to have you there. Can't wait.
Yes.
But you know, I did 10 years over at Colourful Radio, and that was fantastic. With Henry Bonsu brought me on, and Kofi and his wife are always very good to me. Time to move on, moved on. Then went with Jerry Bascom, that doesn't sound right. Joined Jerry Bascom on TSOG, went to Grenada and stuff like that. And again...
Now that's an interesting journey, that part there, going to Grenada, because that was your first trip to the West Indies in a long time.
In a very long time.
But it also made you feel like, I need to connect with where I come from now as well, to Jamaica. And that's when you went the following year, I think, with your mother.
That's right, very early. That's exactly right. Jamaica, you know, when I went to Grenada, first of all, the purpose was to go and meet my listeners.
Right.
And did I meet my listeners? And
you realize how many people were following you over there, and so great to meet you and supporting you. And
fantastic. Not to mention that Jerry Bascom should have the key to the city by now. They love him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's doing great things. But fast forwarding, taking Mum to Jamaica for her birthday the following March, and just sitting there watching her really showed me why and who I am.
Yes, it's important.
Because Mum has this saying, plain English and bad manners. That means she will tell you up and down, say you're fat, don't wear that dress. Do you know what I mean? That's Mum, plain English and bad manners. And I'm like, Mum, you can't be so abrupt and there's nicer ways of doing. When I went to Jamaica and she's sitting on the veranda sucking our star apple and everything, and I just left there with her school friends then. And if you ever see the way that they're treating each other, like
they're
I've missing you put on weight. Jeez, what happened? The man left you. You know, and I'm like, oh my God, let me just leave you. And then I realised that that's how we are in the Caribbean.
That's right.
We've come here, we're sparing people's feelings.
To a degree, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
You water down your characteristics and personalities, and as you say, you would say, listen, don't look at that thing there, you know, well, you got a friend, he should tell you.
You don't have a friend, right. You don't know mirror.
Yeah, exactly, you know.
But the most important, I don't cut you off, darling, and I do agree, but I know that the director is telling us 5 minutes, so I want to get in as much as I possibly can. You said the motor car. No, right?
She can't even get in enough oxygen. Breathe. Take a break.
But you know, the most important thing is in all of that banter, there is no malice.
None at all.
No malice. At all. You know, people that are holding grudges and malice and stuff like that because so-and-so slighted them or so-and-so said this.
Oh yes, it's ridiculous.
Forget it. Life is too short.
Too short. Grow up.
Do you know, I woke up this morning, went on Facebook, right? Went on Facebook, as you do, because you ain't got nobody warm to cuddle up to.
Don't believe her.
No, it's a damn truth.
She's got a queue of people queuing up to cuddle up.
Yeah,
anyway,
but do I want any of
them? She went onto Facebook this morning. Go on.
Do you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you can queue up a little more, but you know, are you a gentleman? Are you a gentleman?
Right, back to topic.
Right, okay. I do my little advert here. I do my little advert, and do not cut it, right?
We need help. Right. We need help here.
Right, look.
We need help here. Somebody help me.
Many in the queue. Many in the queue, right? And just many in the queue. And some are dignitaries, money, this, that, and the other. It's true. Trust me when I say to you, if you're not a gentleman, come out of the queue. I make decent people coming out of the queue. What I'm telling you.
Somebody called the emergency services. I need help here. This is more than I thought it was ever going to be.
Done with the waste man then, man. Sure. Anyway.
Yeah, so you went on Facebook this morning.
I went on Facebook this morning, right, as you do. And, oh my God, I don't know whose page I was on.
Probably mine.
It might have been yours, actually. It might have been yours. It might have been yours. Definitely might have been yours. And there was a post on, oh my God, what's his name? Please come back to me. Oh, please, because it's so important. Oh my God. That character, somebody stop me.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
And I got drawn in, because I didn't know any of this. I got drawn into people saying that he's lost it and this, that, and the other, and he's mad and all of this kind of thing. So I thought, Jim Carrey, I'll go on. Do you know, I spent the next hour delving into his philosophy.
Yeah.
He has got something real, very real, and very, very interesting going on there. Concepts to life.
That's right.
Is this actually real? Is life happening to us?
Yeah.
Are we happening to life?
Yeah.
You know, there was one guy it's a bit like somebody was saying, like, because we say my body, my head, my hair. Then if it's all my, then who are we? Do you understand me?
See, there's some depth for you here going on.
Then who are we? And it was, I loved it so much because it was like...
But it's a concept that you can either get or you...
Don't get.
But you can only get it if you open your mind to getting it. Because a lot of things, people are closed-minded.
Yeah.
So they automatically don't understand it because they're not allowing their mind to open and understand.
Well, that's it. And I suppose it resonates with me because I'm pretty much like that. And you know me for a very long time. You know, I'm open, I'm honest. Sometimes there was a time when my guy would phone me and phone me from some no caller ID and stuff, and then he'll call me from a number that I recognise, and he'll be like, "So Elaine, so what? You don't answer the call?" And I'll be like, "May I run from the debt collector then, man?" No airs and graces.
Not a word of a lie. This is real. This is real.
It is what it is.
It is happening to me. This is all happening to me.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So to me, I still have aspirations. I still have ambition.
You should have those things till the day you have your last breath.
I honestly, so many ideas, this, that, and the other. I bought parking space because you know I live up where I live now, right? And I bought parking space, and who I bought it from, he owns the floor of one whole floor to himself. He's taken this massive liking to me and has said to me he's looking for opportunities to invest in, right? And every so often I come across these kinds of opportunities. But I'm the kind of person that ain't gonna take stuff from you just because you're giving it to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you have to see if it's coming with a genuine heart or if it's coming with an ulterior motive.
And when you're so good looking as me is, do you know what I mean? When you're so desirable, you know, men, the first thing that comes into their mind is one thing, and you know, so if you're going to come genuinely.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? And I've got my little tests to weed it all out.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I'll weed them out quick. I feel I'll put
there's a questionnaire that you have a little thing that they
Listen, you have to show me five different forms of ID. You feel I'm joking? You have to show me a doctor's report because narcissists, I'm ready for you. There are some narcissists.
Well, it's true. These days, I think even people that have Facebook accounts, we need to see their psychiatric records, to be fair. But that's another story.
You feel I'm joking, don't you? Listen, some people think they're Houdini and think that they can just reappear.
I don't know how much I'm going to be on the cutting room. Wait, where should have gone in my mind?
But, you know, the thing is, I joke a lot. I am a single woman at the moment and I'm enjoying myself so much, and just for the record, I'm, you know, with no apology, abstaining. I put on some breakup weight, right? I did.
I feel a soap opera coming out.
I put on some breakup weight, right? And the other day I was doing, I mean, this breakup has been a while now, so it's totally out of my system, right? But I haven't shed it yet, right? And I was doing my Facebook Live probably about a month ago or something like that, a few weeks ago. And I'm there as I do, and I'm dance up in front of the camera. I mean, just see this poach in front of me, just I said, what that?
Kangaroo.
I look like a kangaroo. I look like I was about to give birth. I was like, what is that? My belly's never been that big. I was horrified.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I then decided to go back on my Warren Williams's diet, which is to alkaline the body.
Yeah.
And get back into my vegetables. And first thing in the morning, I'll drink half a pint of water, or a pint of water, as much as I can drink in the morning. Yeah. And, you know, and just cut things down and cut things back. And I started that probably about 2 weeks ago. And I'm able to get back into this dress. Okay. Yes, I won't show you everything, but I don't believe in wearing girdles. Let me pull this down. I don't believe in wearing girdles.
You need to see what's going on this over here.
I don't believe in wearing girdles.
Okay.
If I've got a tummy, I'll let it hang out. Only because I just feel like when you put it on and it sucks you all in, you know what I mean, and you've got that beautiful figure, you know what I mean. This is personally for me. I think great for everybody else, but personally for me. And you know, when people greet you, they see the lovely figure and they're like, oh, you do it a lot actually. And you come in, you go, go on, and you feel the buck and everything. Yeah. And I'm thinking, he's gonna feel my girdle. No. Yeah. You know, and I just imagine, do you know what I mean? I just imagine everybody else imagining, you know, Siobhan Gurgle, I'm going to take that off. You know.
But you know, it's also the thing with you about, well, actually, if at this moment I'm slightly heavier, well, then I'm slightly heavier. But that is who I am. It still comes back to that comfort with self.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I am very comfortable with myself.
But yeah, you know, a lot of people aren't. So it's a privilege almost to have that kind of self-confidence and be quite satisfied with your weaknesses and inadequacies and say, well, no, I'm not perfect, but me as myself, I'm good enough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've been perfect all my life, so I'm allowed to lapse for a couple of months.
From time to time. So where are you at now? What are you doing now? What are your projects?
My projects at the moment, there is... I'm a landlord.
Okay. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm a landlord. Right?
Property magnet here.
Yeah.
See? Property magnet.
This is what I do, right? So that really does afford me to be able to go to the beats.
Yeah.
And to do all of those projects for love and that. And to be in the studio with my son. You know, oh my God, I can't wait for you to hear his music. Oh my God, it's so good.
This is baby Marcus. If you see baby Marcus now, he's like up there, father of the grandchildren.
Yeah, that's right. Being good mom, being good grandparent daughter and all of these things, and you know, just looking after mum's 88 and stuff like that. So I'm a lady of leisure as well.
Okay.
Do you know, I am pretty much that, a lady of leisure. Just moved into a swanky new apartment.
I love the pause and the camera just like focus. Did you get that? I've just moved into a swanky new apartment. Did you get that? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this apartment is... Well, I've moved back there, actually.
Exactly. I think you moved back there, haven't you?
It called me, didn't it? It called me. So I'm fine, you know. I am really enjoying myself. And I think at this particular moment... I've moved back there because I think, right, this is a new chapter now. Right. So, well, actually, what it was is a bit of jealousy. I moved my mum, moved my son, and then I thought, I want to move.
As Elaine does. It's like, well, you're all doing it. I want to do it too.
So I did. I moved. And it's the best thing I could have done for myself this year.
It's giving you a fresh...
Yeah. Fresh page, fresh start, fresh... You know, proper
it makes
look
sense.
At myself. Yeah, so that's what I've done, and I think I may well just have a look at the opportunities. I won't mention her name, but a certain commissioning editor at one of the terrestrial television stations told me to go off and get myself a big brass book and put everything that
you've done.
Well, no, everything that all my, you know, what I see in building a set and this, that and the other, all my ideas and stuff like that. And I did. I went off and bought a big brass book, cost me about £100 and something, and I showed it to her. She went, "Ras."
There are a lot of rasses in there. There's
a lot of rasses in there. So I bought this big brass book. It's amazing. I'm you know, okay, I'm comfortable. I haven't put anything in there as yet.
Right.
Only because, like I said, I'm dealing with this. I've got my lawyer hat on at the moment.
Right.
And I'm really paying attention to that, because coming out of that, I actually want to do the layman's version of not circumventing the law. That's not the right word, but navigating. That's the word I'm looking for. Navigating
your way around the law and injustices within the law.
Yes, and understanding where you're at and what certain letters mean and which letters you need to reply to and which you just think, chuck, go it. Do you know what I mean? And it's a big deal. It's a big deal because there are so many people that are probably committing suicide.
Because of that pressure.
Because of that pressure.
Have the
and
advice,
they don't
know.
They don't need it. But if I can give a piece of advice right now, read everything. And remember, time is only time, right? You spend it wisely, so spend it doing wise things. Read everything.
Yeah.
You know, and we have the benefit of Google right now.
Absolutely.
Right? You and the way to use Google is ask a direct question.
Right.
A number of answers will come up, but you have to spend the time to read everything and cross-reference, so you're picking sense out of nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of false information on there as well. So you put your question in, the answers come up, you read everything. More often than not, if it's a legitimate question that makes sense or whatever, it's a lawful question or whatever, it will direct you to a law body, a body of the law. You go to that body and you pick up the phone and you call them and you ask them, and then you will know which is the right answer. And it takes time. But this is what you give a solicitor money for.
Yeah. Now you're fortunate enough to be able to have access to that advice and information with Google.
With Google. So it doesn't matter what you're going through. It could be, all right, let's look at health, for example. If you go to, you have an ailment, you have a twitch in your body or whatever, you go to the doctors, they diagnosed it, they give you a prescription, you may go to the chemist, get your prescription. You don't just take it down because they told you to. What you do is you
research what it is.
You read everything that's on it and you research every last letter that's on it, right? And then what you'll find is that most, if not every medicine that they give you is derived from something natural.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they've just put some other word to it. So whatever that natural thing that it's
But
come
whereas
from,
one is chemical, the other one is natural. The natural may take a little longer to work, and that's all verging on the homeopathic thing. But most definitely, most drugs are duplicating something that is natural. Or
That's right.
Imitating something that's natural.
right. That's right. That's absolutely right. So when you do that research now, and you find where it's derived from, I beg on a dog, go buy it.
Yeah. Go by the natural in its
Go
natural
buy the
format.
natural in its normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because more often than not, that medication that you're being prescribed will give you a side effect. You'll then need something else to counter the side effect.
To counteract the side effect, yeah.
But by all means, please, you know,
and
take
some
advice,
of those
take
medications
advice.
are not even really supposed to be taken together.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're
Yes.
taking the natural, you can mix and blend, but you'll specifically see some medication is not to be taken because it will cause a diverse side effect.
That's right.
So,
That's right. So, and I say this to tell you this. My mother is 88 and she was on a whole set of medication about 9 years ago. And then because of the side effects, I wasn't having it. I was insubordinate as usual. And
you don't say.
No, this is true though. It was true. And I said to the doctor, what would happen if I refused you giving my mother another injection? And he said that you may face charges. And I said, well, I said, prepare a cell for me now because you're not giving her another one, right? And they didn't know what to do with me after that. And I took her out of their hands and I gave her an alkaline diet, right? And it was avocado, it was everything green. It was the Warren Williams thing, every single thing green. And I blended that every morning to the thickness, the consistency of porridge. And she had it, so I'd sit there and have it with her until all of the drugs were out of her system. I mean, she was in a state where she couldn't even open her hands like this. We went up to my grandmother's funeral in Birmingham and it took 3 of them to get her out the car because she could not, she was immobilised. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You see her now, she's 88. When we was going to Jamaica for her birthday and because she's of age, they asked which medication that she's on. None of them could believe it. She's on no medication at all. Sound as a bell. Amen. Do you know what I mean? And that was me. And I had a family meeting and I said, guys, this is what I'm going to do. But the way she is right now, she may as well be dead.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take her off all these medications and I'm going to alkaline her body and see where we go from there. If you see her now, she's like this. If you're in a mind sharp, she'll box you. Do you know what I mean? So she's as strong as an ox. And she's ready for chase me, Chase me, you know what I mean? But
that's great. And that is as well a problem that a lot of the elderly have because they don't have somebody around them like you that's number one interested, that cares, or they might not have any family to be monitoring this, so they're just being pumped full of drugs because they just want to have them over a certain age in that docile state where we don't have to do anything until they pass on, So that's really great. Then she's lucky to have someone like you in her life that's looking out for her and monitoring what's going on with her medical wise.
That's my mum, man. That's my mum.
You only get one. That's for true.
That's my mum's, So as I said, coming right back round, family is very important to me. And my friends are very important to me. They become family. Do you know what I mean? They become family. Do you understand what I'm saying? Really, I'm very loyal and I expect that. And, if I see that you're not loyal, I don't sort of like not be your friend.
You just put you in a different place.
You're just not in that innermost circle
just put you in a different
of
place.
influence. Live your life.
But your alkaline diet, are you using it yourself? Because you told me something interesting earlier about just doing the veggie at the moment.
Oh, right, yeah. So I'm not doing the meat now, but I've only just cut that out again, like about a week ago. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So this is just 2 weeks.
Are you feeling better for it?
Yeah, only in the sense that I am proud of myself that I can abstain.
Right, okay.
You know, that's where it starts with me. It starts with, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Right.
And then I don't go back on my word. And then that makes me feel good.
Okay.
And then everything else follows. It's not something that because you see, it'd be very hard to follow the diet that I do, right? Because I'm like, I will just eat a plate of just vegetables.
Yeah.
Because I love vegetables.
Nice.
I'll just have vegetables. And I don't go seeking for, I'm not like, oh, I had that yesterday, I want something else today. I'm not like that. I'm just like, I'll have these vegetables, right? And I'll be like, get on the scale. All right, yeah, I'm losing weight. Okay. And then I will just continue with that.
That's incentive to continue with the vegetables.
With just the vegetables, you know. I'm not one to like, you know. And I may punctuate it with going to a restaurant with a friend or something like that.
I mean, life shouldn't be an ordeal. It shouldn't be tortured, you know. But
and that's it. I don't think about, you know, and on top of that, I talked about going on the scales, but it's not something that I do. I'm more like, let me try this on now, see if it fits me.
Well, that's how I think it is. As I always say, you know, your body tells you. Your clothes will tell you. You don't need to be obsessing about standing on a scale.
That's right. That's right. So. Because let's face it, the muscle weighs more than fat anyway, doesn't it? You know. So I started going to the gym last week. Because I just have to, and downstairs and it's there.
No excuse now, is there? No excuse.
I don't really like the gym.
No, but you just have to organise it and make it a part of your life. A part of your life, part of your routine.
The spa's great.
The spa
is great. I love the spa, you know, but yeah.
So you got any gigs coming up?
That's another thing with me, really funny about gigs. I will do the selected gigs. As you know, Barry, I don't like to be on the bill with 10,000 DJs.
Ridiculous. Everybody playing for 2 minutes each.
It don't make no sense. When I love music so much that where I came from or how I built my name, people would book me for their parties, right? And I would start at 12 o'clock midnight and it'd be me, one and God on the decks till 1, 2 o'clock the next day. Yeah. And because my music is so eclectic, I'm taking you on a journey. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember those parties I used to do?
Oh, how could you forget?
On my own. On my own. Do you know what I mean?
And Elaine's not letting you on the deck because she has her story to tell with her music. Yeah? So even if there's another DJ standing up next to her going, okay, you've been here for 3.5 hours now, we patiently waited. He's standing there and Elayne would just look at him like that. Where do you think you're going?
That is not even true. He's really
because Elaine's going on her journey and she's carrying us all with her. Okay? We just have to go. Shut up and go. Love it. Wouldn't have her any other way.
Oh my God.
Darling.
He's got me as a diva going on here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Really appreciate it. We could still talk for another hour, I think.
Absolutely, we could.
Even the clock's giving up.
Hold on a minute. Is that 20 past 5?
20 past.
Past 5?
Yes, darling.
We're parking together now. I'm not if I could fight somebody else. Jeez.
Thank you so much for joining us, darling. Thank you guys for coming and you, as usual, watching us. We really appreciate it. Stay with us and see you next week.
Bye.
Oh, God.